The prologue of Wheaton masterfully sets up a world where psychological warfare and perception manipulation reign supreme. Set in New Stockholm, the introduction weaves together elements of noir, dystopian fiction, and political espionage to create a tense narrative about power, deception, and controlled reality. The story immediately establishes itself as a complex cocktail of genres, 2 parts dystopian, 1 part political espionage, with generous doses of violence and manipulation throughout. At the center of this opening scene is a carefully orchestrated trap, what appears to be a simple predator-prey dynamic between Carl, using the alias Adam, and a seemingly vulnerable woman named Andrea, is actually an elaborate state-sponsored operation. Andrea, whose real identity is Lulu, formerly Lieutenant Farrow, isn't the victim she appears to be. She's the carefully positioned bait in a deadly scheme. Every street corner and every exchange in New Stockholm serves as a potential trap disguised as an opportunity. The brilliance of this setup lies in its layered deception. Carl believes he's the hunter, stalking what he perceives as an easy target. However, his confidence in his predatory role is precisely what makes him vulnerable. He's been selected as what the narrative terms a useful idiot, unknowingly playing his part in someone else's carefully constructed plan. The culmination isn't a moment of self-defense, but rather a calculated execution. Lulu uses every tool at her disposal, performance, appearance, and precise timing, to create the perfect illusion of vulnerability that draws Carl into their web. The aftermath reveals the mechanical precision of this operation. A cast of characters emerges: Tong, Ruth, and Orlick, each performing their roles with practiced efficiency. The handling of Carl's body, the positioning of a body double, and the overall scene management demonstrate how thoroughly this group engineers not just actions, but narratives themselves. Each member of this ensemble steps onto the stage as if they've rehearsed this particular performance countless times, highlighting the methodical nature of their operation. Perhaps most intriguing is Liberius, the unseen director of this macabre theater. Though physically absent from the alley where the action takes place, his presence is felt through comlink communications. His voice serves as more than just a means of giving orders. It's a tool for psychological manipulation, employing what experts in information warfare refer to as reality engineering. Through careful use of cadence, memory cues, and emotional anchoring, Liberius weaves a web of influence that shapes the perceptions and actions of those under his command. His technique goes beyond simple hypnosis. It's a sophisticated form of control that wraps his subjects in language until they forget they ever had alternative choices. Ruth emerges as a particularly chilling character in this ensemble. She lives within the crossroads of a dystopian and utopian world. Ruth operates with cold efficiency and surgical precision. Her power lies not in threats or arguments, but in her quiet ability to remove non-essentials, a euphemism that speaks volumes about the brutal pragmatism of this world. She moves through the narrative, representing the kind of quiet detachment, lethal efficiency that makes this world of Wheaton particularly unnerving. The prologue establishes a crucial theme that runs throughout Wheaton: the weaponization of perceived weakness. In this world, appearing vulnerable is often a calculated strategy. Those who seem weakest may be the most dangerous, using others' assumptions against them. This dynamic creates a constant state of uncertainty where nothing can be taken at face value. Lulu exemplifies this principle perfectly. She appears to be Carl's intended victim, but is actually the architect of his downfall. What makes this world particularly disturbing is how it treats truth. In Wheaton, truth isn't simply rare or hidden, it's irrelevant. The power lies not in possessing the truth, but in controlling the narrative. Everyone is engaged in performance, playing roles within roles, creating layers of deception that serve various agendas. This concept of reality engineering goes beyond mere deception. It's about completely replacing truth with carefully constructed alternative narratives. The story's continuation promises to explore how this dynamic plays out on a larger scale, with Roosevelt positioning Liberius as yet another weapon in this complex game of perception and control. The morning described in the upcoming chapter is characterized not as a new day, but as preparation for battle, suggesting that the psychological warfare established in the prologue will only intensify. This setup creates anticipation for how these themes of manipulation and control will evolve beyond the individual level to affect broader political and social dynamics. This opening effectively establishes Wheaton as a story about the mechanics of power rather than traditional dystopian elements, like advanced technology or urban decay. It's a world where every interaction is potentially a trap, every weakness might be feigned, and every truth could be part of an elaborate deception. The real horror lies not in physical violence, but in the complete malleability of reality itself, where those in power don't just hide the truth, they reconstruct it entirely. The sophistication of this psychological warfare extends beyond individual manipulation to systematic reality control. Through careful staging, precise timing, and masterful performance, the characters don't just deceive, they create new realities. This prologue serves as both a warning and a guide to readers, suggesting that in Wheaton, nothing is as it seems, and perception itself is the deadliest weapon of all. The intricate dance between seeming victim and actual predator, between apparent truth and engineered reality, sets the stage for a narrative that promises to challenge readers' perceptions at every turn. The prologue sets the tone perfectly. Wheaton isn't about high-tech or squalor. It's about the power of perceived reality. Everyone's lying. Everyone's playing a part. And the scariest thing is, the truth doesn't matter anymore. It's irrelevant. Welcome to Wheaton. Join us.